I'm going to let Brittany from Semester at Sea take it over from here.
All right, hi everyone. Hope you're all doing well on this Friday. I'm going to do kind of a little overview of Semester at Sea, kind of give you guys the opportunity to ask some questions. If you have questions about the slides that we're on, definitely feel free to send them into the chat and reach out, give them to me, and I'll be able to answer them. We also have Angel here, who is a Fall 19 alum, who is also going to talk about his experiences and kind of chime in throughout the presentation, so you guys can get a well-rounded information about the whole program in general. Nicole, if you want to go ahead and get started for CSU side of things.
Sure. So I wanted to do a quick introduction of myself today. If you haven't met me yet, I will be moderating this session as well. So as you all will see, there's a Q&A in the bottom. So if you all could take the time right now to type in your name and your pronouns if you're comfortable with that, as well as where you are virtually attending this session, we would love to hear from you. So go ahead and do that. And as those are coming in, I will go ahead and introduce myself. So I'm an Education Abroad coordinator here at CSU. I use the pronouns she, her, hers. I studied abroad in South Africa, Cape Town, and served in the Peace Corps Mongolia from 2013 to 2015. I advise for Latin America, the Caribbean, and Semester at Sea, so I'm really excited to be joining this session today. And I just wanted to do a quick intro so that you knew who could help you and support you on the CSU side of things as you're preparing to go abroad here at CSU with Semester at Sea. In addition, I wanted to let you all know about Cindy. Cindy is fabulous. She's our financial aid coordinator that works with Education Abroad here at CSU. And as you're planning your Semester at Sea trip, she'll be your main contact for financial aid. And she's extremely helpful, and you can reach her by making an appointment with her. And Brittany, if you don't mind clicking onto the next slide, I want to show everyone in the room how to make an appointment with us. So as you know, CSU is hybrid this semester. Education Abroad is mainly working virtually. However, we do have limited in-person advising as well. So for example, if you would like to meet with me in person, I have in-person advising Tuesday mornings, and then the rest is all virtual. And you can make an appointment with me using Navigate, the online scheduling assistant. And we have a contact us page where you can go ahead and go schedule an appointment with me there. And after this session, you'll receive a follow-up email with some instructions on how to do that. But I just wanted to let you know that you're able to make appointments with us. And the one last thing I wanted to talk about was some upcoming financial aid and scholarship sessions here at CSU. Brittany, would you mind going to the next slide? So as you go through this presentation, and by the end of it, you're like, I'm all in, I want to do Semester at Sea, this program's for me. We have some upcoming scholarship workshops this fall to help you start planning and budgeting for this program. So I would really encourage you to, after this session today, take a look at our different scholarships and financial aid options and sign up for some of these sessions so that way you can learn more. I did want to let you know that all of these have been moved virtually. So these will be conducted via Teams. And if you go to our events page on our website, you can get access to all those links. So that's a quick overview of myself. I'm going to stop talking. So I know you're all here to learn more about Semester at Sea. So take it away, Brittany. Thanks for letting me introduce myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's super important for them to know who their main point of contact is on the CSU campus. So perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. I am Brittany Weimer, and I am with the Semester at Sea office. I am on the University Relations team, and I work with students from point of interest until they go through their application. They help submit documents. I work really closely with Nicole. And then I also help students through the admitted process and to the deposit. So you can ask me any questions about Semester at Sea. You can ask me any questions about the application process. I'm really here to help you, provide you as much information and help guide you. I'm here to help with any kind of questions your parents may have as well, or family members. So feel free to reach out to me at any time. Please write down my email address and contact me that way, or you can contact me by phone. Perfect. So we're going to kind of do a little program overview for Semester at Sea. So we're a nonprofit organization, and we are actually partnered really, really closely with Colorado State University. They are our academic partner, which means all of our courses actually come from CSU. They are CSU courses. So it's super easy for the transferring of courses back to your degree plan, whether that's general eds, electives, major work. That's just something you're going to want to work with your academic advisor on how those courses transfer back, but we'll get into academics soon. We are a multi-country program, so you will be aboard our ship, the World Odyssey, and you will sail 3 to 4 different continents and visit around 10 to 12 different countries. We spend around 4 to 6 days in each country, so you do get the opportunity to get off the ship. I can see Angel smiling over there. But yeah, you get the opportunity to get off the ship and explore that country and then come back to the ship, or you can stay on the ship at port. It's really awesome. And we have a massive alumni community, a little over 73,000 to date. It's been about 53 years that our program has been going on. So kind of give you an idea of the voyages that are coming up. The fall 21 voyage, we're going to be starting over in Europe, and then we'll go down around Africa and then kind of end in Asia. So something to keep in mind, we all know what's going on in the world with COVID and the opportunities of travel. So these are the countries that we do have planned right now, but there could be some changes. So, that flexibility is really key with this type of program. So, and then here's spring 22 as well. This one we're actually doing at 12 countries now, but we're actually going to be starting in Asia, kind of working our way around Africa, over to Brazil, and then up into Europe. Talk a little bit more about the campus. As you can see, our campus is a ship. So definitely not your traditional campus at CSU. Everyone is living on the ship. That is including your faculty, your staff members, your resident directors, the deans, everybody, as well as all the students. So there's going to be some 9 classrooms. Now your classrooms aren't going to be your traditional classrooms. They're going to be rooms around the ship that we have converted into classrooms. So as you can see in that top picture, that is going to be one of the rooms off the front of the ship. Angel, what's the name of that room again?
It's Lido Terrace.
Lido Terrace, yeah. So like if you actually look at those windows, you will see the front of the ship, which I thought was pretty cool. I got to see it back in December. And then we're gonna have 2 dining halls. I'm sure Angel has a preference on the dining halls. It's a little competition
absolutely.
On the ship. So we have bars, grills, pretty much everything. We want to bring the campus life that you're used to the campus on the ship. So definitely great rooms there. And if you go to our website, you can actually find 360-degree views of all of these rooms. So definitely a great opportunity to kind of check out our ship a little bit further. A little bit more pictures. I don't know, Angel, do you want to talk about any of the rooms or classrooms that were your favorite?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I think the really cool place to study sometimes is where the pool is right there, and where you have like the deck. It's deck 9, and you can literally just go out, and because like you're in the ocean, it's humid, which is kind of hard to deal with at first, but like you just kind of like have this view of like people lounging in the pool and then like the ocean and the whole combination. It's like just really cool to see. And also the back of the ship is a really cool place to study as well, because they have like little study spots for you to like literally just look back at the ocean and just see the ship moving through the ocean. So those are 2 really cool spots. And I think I'm like ocean oriented a little bit, so I just like to see the ocean wherever I am. So those are like my favorite spots. But the library is definitely a place where you can go study as well. I think the library is more of like a socialization place. Like you just go there to like socially mingle. And yeah, dining halls. Berlin Hall for me was the hall that I just like stuck to. That's where all like my friends and where we all knew we could fight each other when it came to like having dinner, lunch, breakfast. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, awesome.
Hey, Brittany, do you mind if I step in real quick and just mention to the audience about the Q&A?
Yeah, absolutely.
I forgot to mention earlier, if any of you have questions as we're going through this presentation, go ahead and drop them in the Q&A. And if they're relevant to the current slides, I'll go ahead and ask Angel and Brittany to speak about your question. But if it's a more general question, I'll hold off until the end and we'll have time then as well. So feel free to type them in as we go along and we'll answer your questions for you.
Absolutely, yeah. Ask anything you want.
Absolutely. All right, so we're going to kind of go into the community on the ship. So the ship can hold around 570 students. We also have around 60 faculty, staff members, plus their families, and around 10 to 20 lifelong learners, and about 200 international crew. So kind of adding everything up, the ship probably holds a little bit less than 1,000 people. Surprisingly, this is more of like a medium-sized cruise ship. I was definitely able to see our ship sitting next to a real cruise, like a real cruise liner, and it's definitely on the medium size. I was very like in shock and awe when you actually see real cruise liners and how big they are. But yeah, and we're going to jump into academics. So for the program, every semester we offer around 70 to 72 or 75 courses, and that can be across 20 to 25 disciplines. So there's definitely a wide variety of courses that are available to students. About 2/3 of them are going to be upper division, a third lower division. Like I said before, all these courses do come from Colorado State University. And with that being said, all students are going to need to take the Global Studies course as well as 3 electives. You can petition to take 4 electives, but we need the approval from your university for that. So like I said, Global Studies, 3 additional courses. The class sizes are going to be on the smaller side, around 20 to 25 students. We do have that one lecture hall, which is going to be the Global Studies. And that is actually going to be for all students, all faculty, all staff member. We really want everyone there so that they can learn and be prepared for the courses that are coming, and getting them prepared for that. And another thing about our program that's a little bit more unique too is we don't have a Monday through Friday schedule with the weekends off. It's more of an A, B day. So while you're sailing to each of the port is when you're taking your classes. So we'll alternate between A and B days until you get to a port where that will be the time you can get off the ship, and those are going to be more of your weekends unless you have a field class. Angel, how did you feel about the A and B days? Was it different? Did you get used to it right away, not having a Monday, Friday kind of schedule?
Yeah, so let's see. Well, I guess kind of when you're on the ship, you don't really have a schedule in general as compared to like, the real world, like when you're like on land. You get kind of like, so one thing that like I came to realize really quickly was just like Mondays are not Mondays, Fridays are not Fridays, the weekends are not the weekends, because you can like associate like your time off on the ship when it comes to you getting into port, and you can get into port in the middle of the week and that'll be your weekend because you're not going to be in class. So I think the A/B day is a really good like structured home base that you can really follow on. So like I'll have these set of classes this day and then these set of classes the next day, and that's all I really have to worry about. And then everything else for you is just like planned and coordinated by SAS. So then you just go to class and they'll let you know like when you don't have class. Typically like the whole ship won't have class one day, like, and they'll let you know that. But other than that, like it should always run as scheduled, and it's really really easy to get used to, I think. But the really cool thing is just like I was mentioning earlier, is like there's really no sense of like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's just kind of like, I don't know, like every day is just a new day that's like you don't really know what to expect, but in the best way. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And outside of class, Angel, was your time free to do whatever you want, or?
Yeah, so outside of class, essentially you can go and do your homework, or if you're studying for an exam, go study for exam. Or you can just go attend, like, essentially after class is over, it's like that's your time, so you can go and mingle and make friends. You can go to like a yoga session from yoga club that's planned sometime in that evening, or you can go like ring up someone from a cabin that that has a guitar, and you can be like, hey, like let's go play the guitar on deck 9 or something, or just like pretty much you're free to do anything. You can go to the basketball court, you can go to the swimming pool, you can go get dinner, lunch, and yeah, pretty much just all up to you. So.
Cool. And like I was talking about, the global studies course, it is required for all. And it is, preparing you for the countries you're going to. So it's super important. And then even after the port, you come back to the ship, and then you have these little small group sessions to discuss in those countries. Were they the right expectations that you had when you got off the ship, and kind of really encompassing it all together. As I said before, there are some field classes. So field classes are basically 8-hour days that are included in your program costs that are going to be in port, that is with your class. And so it's basically getting off the ship with your teacher and really learning hands-on what you're learning, taking what you've been learning for the semester and just going into that country and really applying it to your studies. I was able to do a field class in Costa Rica, and I thought it was pretty amazing. I was in a Spanish class that we got to learn about replanting forestation, and it was just an awesome experience. Like, we actually got to go out and plant a new tree. So really kind of getting that hands-on experience. Angel, I don't know if you had a favorite field class when you were on your voyage.
Yeah, I think for me, I was taking an interpersonal communications course, and it was in Dubrovnik, Croatia. And we were really studying mindfulness and being present. And so we were walking along the walls of Croatia in Dubrovnik, where the Game of Thrones is filmed. And it was just a beautiful day, like just the most clear sky and the sunset. And it was just like amazing to see our course material applied. And it was essentially just like meditative, just like practices that we enacted on the walls of Croatia, which is kind of crazy to think about now in hindsight. Like, here we are, like 40 students walking the walls of Croatia, and we're like doing this whole meditative experience with our professor who's leading it. And that was one of the coolest field classes that I had, and I remember it to this day. And I'm still in contact with that professor now. So there's not ever like a time that I don't think about that experience. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of leading into that, more in-port experiences. So for in-port experiences, there are kind of different options for you, either through semester at sea or independently. We have, day programs, half-day programs, overnight field programs that you can sign up for. Now, these do come at additional costs. We're not saying we're the cheapest way to do it. We're saying that we are the most convenient, easy way to do it, especially if you have only a couple of days in a port. Angel, I don't know if you did a mixture of field programs and independent travel, explain how that worked for you.
I did a mixture of the two. So originally I had gone into semester at sea with a lot of field programs. And that's because I got the alumni scholarship that would pay for my field programs. But then I had those in place, but then I had the field classes, and I kind of overbooked myself a couple of ports. So I had to find some time to like free up my port for my time to travel and explore on my own. But I feel like the field programs that I took were really just like, you can kind of get off the ship and like know that the staff on semester at sea is going to get you through your field program, and you can feel confident and safe to know that you're going to get your food, you're going to get that security, you're going to get that cultural immersion or your academic immersion as well. So but I found myself really impressed with just how easygoing it all was for me. But yeah.
Here's some more examples of some of our field programs that we do. Shipboard life, the best life from what I've heard from many students. So with our Shipboard Live, it is a massive community. There's so many things to do while you're at sea. I'm sure when I give Angel the floor here to talk about his experience, he will talk a lot about, opportunities. But yeah, we have fitness centers, we have the sports courts, sports clubs that he was talking about. At the beginning of every semester, we give students the opportunity to create their own clubs and organization. And so everyone can just submit an idea and can start forming these clubs and organizations. Like they said, yoga club, I think. I think they have like chess club. I mean, Angel, I don't know if there's, how many clubs were there on your voyage? Probably so many that you couldn't go to all of them.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's like meditation club, like you said, yoga. You had music club. You had some off the top of my mind, I think it's all I can remember right now. But I think the club fair that you have in the beginning of the ship is like, it's perfect timing, because like in the beginning of the voyage, you're trying to essentially just meet as many people as you can. And in this club fair, you go up and you like go up in front of the whole like voyage, which is kind of, it may sound daunting, but it's really fun. And you just like give your spiel like, hi, like I want to create like the music club or something. And then like everyone else is like, oh, like that, I'm on board with it. Like, let's do that. And so then once you do that, you get your little table and you put music club, and you get people that sign their names under your music club, and then you just reach out to them. So they put their cabin number, and then that's how you reach out to them. And then like that's how you build your club. And like you don't have to be like, it could be anybody. You can build any club you want, and then you'll have someone who's interested, and it's really cool to see. So, but yeah.
And then obviously the more fun things too. Neptune Day, Sea Olympics, the alumni ball, film screening, taco night. I got to experience taco night. It was pretty awesome.
Oh, you were there.
Stargazing, when our ship literally will be out in the middle of the water and turn off all the lights on the ship. And you just get to be on the decks and just
It's really awesome.
Pure darkness, like oh my god, yeah, I got goosebumps right now. Like I think it's just really fascinating things like that. And I'll let you jump into like Neptune Days, the Olympics, and all those things when. So I'm sure you have plenty of.
Yeah,
when
right
you,
now.
I'll let you talk later. No, later on.
Okay, sure.
So, and then now I'll kind of go into program fees and aid. And so the program cost is going to be based on the cabin that you choose. And so it ranges anywhere from 26,000 to 32,000. And kind of you can see the different types of cabins that we have there. It's going to include your tuition, your housing, your meals on the ship, your insurance. I mean, I'm listing things that you can read, sorry, but it's pretty much all of that. And then we also have opportunities for students to apply for scholarship and financial aid, which is definitely a great option too. The student assistance grants are there, alumni support scholarship, outside funding. I think it's really great. So the two girls on the screen, they actually wanted to go on semester at sea, and they started their own company selling the headbands that they're wearing to fund their entire program. And they actually sold enough to fund both their programs and more to donate to a cause that they believe in. So, there's definitely a lot of ways out there to fund semester at sea. Get creative. I know people have like asked relatives, things like that. So there's a lot of options. And we also have payment plans that you can apply for, 5 to 10 month payment plans that you start out, and they can actually go about 2 months into your voyage. So there are definitely some options there. Pell Grant match, if you get the Pell Grant, we will match that for the full semester. And then if you do get the Pell Grant match, you can apply for the Gilman Scholarship. And that was what Nicole was talking about earlier on the presentations for outside scholarships. So definitely check out that to help with funding. 60% of our voyagers receive some form of financial aid for whether that's through us or that is through outside funding. If you apply and qualify for, need merit bases, there's definitely those great opportunities to get that. And that is something that's going to go through CSU. So you can definitely reach out to Cindy with more questions on those as well. And then kind of wrapping it up into admissions requirements for semester at sea, you need to complete an online application for the voyage. There's a student essay optional part to submit. And then we just need your unofficial transcript. And you can get that from your RAM web account. You can download it as a PDF. And you can either upload it or send it in via email. And if you're below a 2.5 GPA, don't get discouraged. We definitely have other options and requirements for you to submit so that we can kind of get a full picture of you as an academic person. And you must not be on disciplinary action. So I'm going to go ahead and let Angel take the floor here. I'm sure he has a lot of stories and experience to kind of go through. So Angel, please take it away.
Sure. I think one of the things that really amazed me about semester at sea was, I mean, first of all, yes, like the countries like were fantastic and that cultural immersion. It's just really interesting to see that the pool of students that you get on one voyage. And I like to touch upon that because it allowed me to really get out of my mindset of, you know, like having the identity of a US American, and meeting some international students that are called UWC students. I'm not sure if you touched upon this, Brittany, at all, but I think it stands for Universal World College, if I'm not mistaken. And these students come from all over the world essentially, and they bring their perspective on board the ship. And also like every port has like an import. For example, we had a student come from Poland. His name's Kuba, and like, I don't know, just the immersion that you get from semester at sea in each port is just really special to me. And I feel like once you get that and you enact that into the ship community and everyone has that mindset of like wanting to learn more about each other, you find that you're all so different, but in the most beautiful way. And then you get to learn about yourself that way, and you get to learn about others about that way. And it also provides a really great perspective for you to go into each country and really have a curious mindset and explore what you want to explore. And I think that's really cool to just like put out there before you go on the voyage. Like, it's going to be a voyage of discovery. That's like absolutely 100% true. And then you have like the other cool stuff like Neptune Day, which is like where you get fish guts poured over you and you jump into a pool of fish guts, and it's when you cross the equator and people shave their heads. People really, or you don't have to shave your head. People like cut their eyebrows, or people they got creative with it. People like shave like cool stuff on their heads, and it's just like a symbolization to just show that you've crossed the equator. And it's really cool to see. And it's kind of gross too, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it's like this whole give and take for the experience. I didn't shave my head, I just wasn't up for it. But yeah, also one of the really cool like things about the semester at sea is the field programs that they like provide you with. I had a homestay in Ghana, and I did a naming ceremony with the Atomqua village, and just that whole field program was just so eye-opening to me, and it was just really a culture shock, like the most different lifestyle I could ever imagine. And I just think that was a really special opportunity. And I feel like in that moment when I was in that field program, I was just like, how in the world, like who else is doing this right now? Like, is there even an equivalent or a parallel to like what I'm doing right now? And I just felt really, really special to be in that moment of like staying with a village in Ghana, Africa, and like naming them, their village giving me a name nonetheless. And you know, it was just like really awesome to see. And in that moment, I had one of those moments where it was just like an aha moment, like, whoa, like this is very special. Like this is really, really special. And I just like, in my mind, I was like, how can I find a parallel? And you just really can't. But yeah.
Angel, I love hearing your stories, and I have a question in our Q&A, if you don't mind me asking, reading it out loud.
Sure.
So Maya asked us, how far ahead of time do we need to apply for the semester and also for scholarships? I am a freshman and not planning on going abroad until maybe my junior year. So what can I do now that will help me later?
Sure.
So I can answer a little bit on the CSU end, and then if Angel and Brittany want to kind of chime in on the semester at CM. So Maya, on the CSU, just so everyone in the audience knows, you'll be filling out a CSU Maya Abroad application as well as a semester at sea application for this experience. And to answer your question, we usually recommend here at CSU that students start planning a year in advance. So whatever voyage you decide to go on, you want to start planning about a year in advance with our office as well as semester at sea. Our scholarship, so for example, we have a Common App scholarship that will be due, if you were going on the fall 2021 voyage, it'd be due April 15th of 2021. But you can start applying for that now even. So a year in advance is a really good time to start planning for the entire everything involved. Brittany or Angel, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I guess with semester at Seaside, we agree a year in advance is great. Honestly, you can, if you see the voyage you want to go on, you can apply right when you see it on our website. That's the beauty of our relationship with CSU. We're pretty flexible, you know, apply for us, apply with our application, and then, you know, make sure you just do the CSU application as well. As for scholarship, it depends. Our scholarship window for fall voyages usually opens up in February, the spring right before the fall, and it's open for till, I want to say, June-ish. So it's open for a couple months to make those applications. And then if you're doing a spring voyage, the scholarship window opens up in July, and then it will close in September. So definitely a nice little window of chances to apply. I believe, Angel, you got one of our scholarships. You were talking about the alumni. So,
yeah,
is that what you said?
Yeah, I received the alumni support scholarship, and I just essentially, like you said, the window opens up February for fall, and I just took it on as it came. And then I made sure to get like a lot of my drafts like revised and made sure that I wanted to put my voice in there and show my interest in the program and really showcase that I really wanted to be a part of this program, and named a couple of specific countries or regions that I wanted to go to and really expose myself to. And I think it's really good to really prepare yourself ahead of time and write up a really, really great essay. And just show your story and show your interest. And I think that's like what you need.
Thanks for answering that, Angel and Brittany.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Angel, if you want to keep diving into your experience or any kind of stories or anything like that, absolutely. Oh, and I didn't say this. Angel's actually a student from CSU. So he is a CSU student that went on our program. So if that helps as well. So yeah. You get his experience from that.
I'm a peer advisor at the Office of International Programs. So, yeah.
Yeah, if anyone also wants to, as Angel's talking about his experience, go ahead and ask some questions. We would love to hear from you about what type of things you want to hear about today. And as Angel said, if you have any follow-up questions, he does work in our office, so you're welcome to reach back out at any time. But go ahead and type your questions into the Q&A and I'll read them out loud as they come through.
I know this is a hard question for you, Angel, but what was your favorite port?
I can't say I have a favorite port. I definitely have like a top 3, and I always say that it's Ghana, Croatia, and Brazil. Okay. Yeah. What was yours, Brittany?
I just went to Costa Rica. I actually just did a leg of the voyage. So I did from Costa Rica to San Diego.
On my voyage, actually, right?
Yep, on your. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. I was able to do, like I said, a couple of field programs, field classes, and then I was at sea for 7 days. And that was my first time ever on a cruise ship. This is a good question. Fine, but I didn't really get any kind of seasickness. I think it was the first night I woke up, or Jeff and I woke up on sea, and I got out of bed, and I was just like, I stood up, and I was like, I am not on dry land right now. I had a little bit of that wobbly, experience, but like I think by like noon that day, I like had to walk down. How was your seasickness, Angel?
Yeah, so I didn't really get it either. Maybe I got it like once, the very beginning, but after that, I was just like, okay, and you get used to it. I do want to talk about sea legs though. Sea legs are really cool. So when you get off of the ship at the very tail end of the voyage, your body gets so used to the motion of the ship, like, slowly moving like this. So when you get off of the ship at the very end of the voyage, you find your body kind of moving like this to kind of just like keep up with the ship, but it's no longer on the ship. And like you just kind of have like, they call them sea legs because your legs just keep on swaying to stick with the ship, but you're not on the ship anymore. And it's really funny. It's a really funny feeling, but yeah.
We do have another question that came in. Thank you so much, Skylar. This is a really great question. So I'll talk about it from the CSU side, and then I'll have Brittany chime in from the semester at C side. So what precautions for COVID are going to be taken? So I'm so glad that somebody asked this question. I think that this is the elephant in the room right now. So just from CSU side of things, as you know, fall 2020, our programs were canceled, and we had to bring all students worldwide home in spring 20, and students did not go abroad for summer 20. However, and semester at sea, as Brittany will talk about, was canceled for spring 21. However, here at CSU, we are hopeful and cautiously optimistic about programs still for spring 21 and summer 21. On our end, there's a lot of different things that need to happen to allow students to go abroad moving forward. And so once you get an application in our system, we'll work with you and keep constant communication about some of the ongoing developments with COVID. We make decisions, CSU makes decisions if programs will run about 2 to 4 months in advance. So you will know ahead of time if the program is going to run and if you'll be allowed to study abroad during COVID. One thing I didn't want to note is as you start working through your application with me and with Brittany, we will also be creating a backup plan for you. So we did this with our fall 20 students. So for example, say you're all in for semester at sea, we will also have you enrolled on-campus coursework. So that way, if semester at sea gets canceled, you have a backup plan in place. If semester at sea does run, then you can withdraw from your classes in collaboration with your academic advisor. So we'll just want to make sure you have a backup plan as you're continuing to plan for semester at sea. Brittany, do you want to talk a little bit more about semester at sea's plan with COVID?
Yeah, absolutely. That is a great question. And I like to back up what Nicole said about CSU. They're so great about making sure students are dual enrolled in case we do need to cancel our voyage. Like she said, we did cancel spring 21, and those were because the cruise industry at the time and still right now wasn't prepared for us to do our program the way we want to do our program. So health and safety of our students, faculty and staff member, crew member is super important to us. We want to make sure that we can provide you the semester at sea experience that everyone is talking about, that everyone has experienced. And so currently right now, the CDC and WHO and other organizations are trying to figure out those guidelines of what it looks like on a ship. Is it, having extra cabins available? Is it what those spacings would look like? Is it going to be, food service at a sit down, or is it going to be the buffet style? So we're still working through all of those decision factors very actively. And we will be coming up hopefully in the next couple of months with a plan in place for fall 21. It's still very active conversations, want to make sure that we have that safety for all of our students. And we will reveal that to our students before fall 21. We actually on our website have a page that is dedicated to COVID-19 where you can find all the information that I'm talking about now and all the precautionary information for our voyages. So if you just go to our website, semesteratsea.org, and it's a little yellow bar that talks about COVID, and you click on there, and it will give you all the information for that. Let's see, Angel, what else did we miss that we can talk about as well?
We have
What
about 10 more minutes.
was-
If anyone has any other questions, feel free to go ahead and type them in the box. Anything you can think of that you're curious about. This is a great time to ask since we have CSU representatives, semester at sea representatives, and a student who's alumni. So go ahead and type away anything you're thinking about.
Andrew, what were your classes like? What was it like to take classes on a ship, you know, with a professor, take notes and, you know, things like that?
Yeah, so classes on the ship were, I found it really cool, really interesting to see. Like that we saw previous, it was Lido Terrace, and that classroom is one of like, I think one of the best classrooms because you have like an open window area with like the ocean at every single site. So that was really cool to see, and it's really cool to see the professors and to see how dynamic they are and how versatile they are with their course, and to see how they've tailored it towards a specific port that you feel the class is going to take place in. And it's like really cool to see that the professor is doing all of this for your experience and to really immerse you and apply your coursework into that port. So it's like kind of a guarantee for any student taking a course they apply to. Like your professor is going to tailor that course to your import field class. There's no doubt about it. And that was really cool to see. And it was really cool to see a professor in that point of view as well. Because usually you're in class at your university and it's just the scenery never changes and it's kind of like this set coursework for the whole semester. But on semester at sea, it's like a whole new experience. It's really cool to see.
What's it like going to the dining halls and seeing your teachers all the time, eating with them, you know, being able to connect with them? You feel like you've gained relationships and learned so much more than, you know, on your average campus, things like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Gain relationships is is one thing that you definitely do on semester at sea, and you, like I mentioned earlier, I still talk to my professor from my communications course, and we're actually going to Zoom next week, so that's pretty cool to just like even say. But I think it's really funny to see professors in the dining hall, and just like going to dining hall because like there's really everyone on the ship has to eat, so like that dining hall is where you're going to see people like eating at, and like that includes your professors, that includes the lifelong learners, it includes the ship kids, that includes everybody, and you're just going to see everyone mingle in the same place. And it's really funny because I remember I had a class at 12:30 and then I'd rush in for lunch, and I'd see my professor rushing in for lunch as well, but it was his class that I was rushing to and he was like rushing to his own class, and it was kind of funny to just like see him like gotta go, and I was like, okay, gotta go. And then like we'd go to class together. But it's really fun. It's a really cool environment.
Speaking of lifelong learners, what exactly is lifelong learners and how did you interact with them? And did you do the family experience and all those?
Yeah. So a lifelong learner is someone who is not necessarily enrolled in the university. A lifelong learner is someone who wants to just, I'm not sure, Brittany, maybe you can elaborate more on this, but a lifelong learner comes in, are they alumni as well? Or they just can be?
So the majority of our lifelong learners are alumni. So they've done our program and they are in love with it. And basically they can come on our ship and sail the program, and they are allowed to audit classes, and they really interconnect with our students. It's just another perspective of learning for our students. A lot of them are really successful professionals who are able to talk about their life, how they got where they're at, you know, give guidance. A lot of them are parents for the students. Angel, did you participate in that family program?
I did, yeah. So you have a, it's called a ship family, and then so those lifelong learners or even professors can be a part of a ship family, and usually a professor brings their partner onto the voyage, and they bring their kids onto the voyage. So then at this point, you're adopted by a professor or a lifelong learner, and you have these like set times where you go get dinner with your ship dad and ship mom, and you just like have a good time. And like sometimes like you can have like a birthday going on, and it's like your ship family buys you a cake, like an ice cream cake from the kitchen, and then you like find yourself like being sung to by everybody in the dining hall, like, and it's just so fun to see. And you just like kind of have like this bond with the lifelong learner or the professor, and it's really just like communal, and it really builds community within the ship. And like you can go back to your cabin and talk to your cabin mate, like, oh, like my ship dad like did this, or my ship mom did this, and it's just like really fun to get immersed in. And it's also really cool because like, you know, like obviously your parents aren't with you on the voyage, but it's like they're not your real parents obviously, but it's also kind of like, well, I can see them as that. So but yeah.
Hey, Angel, we have another, and Brittany, this is for you too, and I can help answer this one. Skylar has a great question. How do you choose the classes you are going to take on the ship? So Skylar, one major step that you'll do in your next steps after you apply to semester at sea, and it's almost happens simultaneously with our office too, you'll meet with your academic advisor. And Brittany, correct me if I'm wrong, but classes usually pop up on the semester at sea page 9 to 12 months before the voyage. Great.
Yes. Yeah.
So you will work with your academic advisor and make sure that the courses that you enroll in will keep you on track for graduation. So something you would want to do now is work with your academic advisor to make sure that semester at sea will fit into your academics. A lot of advisors on campus are familiar with semester at sea. And depending on your major, if you don't mind me asking, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you and see if you can. Skylar, are you able to talk right now and let us know what your major is? Maybe not. No worries if not. That's okay. So yeah, depending on your major, you will be able to look up and make sure that they have requirements on the ship available for your major.
Yeah, and then you work in correlation with your advisor. They'll like steer you in the right direction. What I did is just like my advisor gave me these courses that would apply to my major, and then I got a list of courses. And once I had that list, just this I think the list is really important because at that point you know what's in your play field and what's in the ballpark, and then you can just go onto semester at sea and look up the courses, and then see like, oh, like this has this and this has this involved within it. And then I really just like did my research and had like this like pros and cons list for like what I wanted, and then really made sure to really dive into that course and make sure that I really wanted to do that. But semester at sea has a lot of options for you, so that's good news.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll just add on, I know we only have a minute left here, but about our courses, like Nicole said, they start appearing on our website about 9 to 12 months prior to the embarkation date. And they're going to have a little short description, and then about 6 to 9 months, all the syllabi should be on the website as well for those courses. And then usually around 3 months out is when you're going to do your registration, and you actually register for courses through the CSU system. So y'all already know how to do it, so it's pretty straightforward, which is really fantastic. And by the time registration happens, we already have the course schedule on our website for like, is it an A day, is it a B day, times like that. So you can kind of really focus in on building your schedule, and the field classes will be listed as well under the course, because that is a requirement of your class. You don't want to miss that. It's 20% of your grade. And then Nicole, I don't know if you wanted to add anything at the end.
Yeah, we're at time. So Skylar, I saw that you typed in your major. I actually work with 2 fish, wildlife, and conservation biology programs, but I think that you could fit semester at sea into that. So we would want to follow up and have a advising appointment together. But thank you all so much for being here today. We really appreciated your time. I'll let Brittany and Angel also say their thank yous.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And I really enjoyed being the alumni for this panel.
Yeah, and again, I'm here to answer any of your questions for the program. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day on a Friday. I know we're all really excited for the weekend, the long weekend. That's
Yay.
very exciting. But I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and please reach out to me or any of us to answer any of your questions and help you along in that process.
Bye all. Have a great day.